live.
What up?
Ah.
Welcome. Uh, this week in Commander Paradise, we're talking about some old heads in the Magic community.
We're talking about some of the OGs, some of the first.
Yeah, we're talking about the first precon. The Commander precons from 2011. The first ones to come out. The first time where Commander became Commander. Before that was Elder Dragon Highlander, and then it became official Commander with these precons. I think technically it was on Magic Online first, actually. Maybe. I think I read that. But real deal Magic product, fully designed by Wizards, new cards for the format for the first time, and the format was never the same. Is it better or worse? I don't know. I think it's better. There's some sweet shit that came out of
Yeah.
Commander decks, but also like Dockside and Yuriko, and so it's good and bad.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're just gonna talk about those. We got a whole tier list set up. You know, people like tier lists. I love tier list videos. I'm sure if you're
I
watching
love
this, you like
making
tier list
tier
videos.
lists. Yeah. Tier lists
Yeah.
are great. So we're going to do one
Um.
for the commanders, the backup
Yeah.
commanders, and 5 extra legends that were in each deck, I think.
Yep. Yep. So there are five. So for the first precons, there were the five enemy wedges, which is cool because those were like not supported. There wasn't like Cons of Tarkir wasn't a set yet, so there was never like a full like enemy wedge colored set focused yet. There's just like random stuff that happens sometimes. And so for the first ones, they said, okay, we're gonna make a batch of enemy colored. So the three colors is what the wedges are. So like Jeskai, Mardu, Sultai,
Abzan,
Abzan,
Just Guy.
whatever the last one was. We're missing one, but you
You
know what
say
it
Just
is
Guy?
if you listen. Yeah, that was the first one.
Oh no.
Jeskai, Sultai,
Just Guy Sultai,
Mardu,
Abzan, Mardu. Oh, and
Abzan,
Teamer. The most
Teamer.
forgettable wedge.
Yeah, Teamer is kind of weird, but there's a really good Teamer commander. Like the Teamer commander came from this set. So
Yeah, which is crazy. It's kind of been cemented that long since like 2011. That's over like
yeah,
13 years of the same Teamer deck, but it's good. It's really fucking good. So that's why it
yeah.
sticks around.
So, do you want to just get into it?
Yeah, I was gonna say we should stop babbling. We should start listing things. So
Okay, we're
let's
about to
hop
get
into it. And we're
about to
still
get
getting used to
small.
seeing ourselves on screen and figuring this whole thing out. So if I stare into the void, just listen to Tyler. Good old Scryfall.
So if we need to pull it up, so here's our tier list. This is what I made for the. Oh, Ryan, we should have talked about this before we started
This
recording.
is the first time I'm
But
seeing this.
oops. So we got up at the top. We got goated. This means that they are one of the
Goated.
greatest of all time. It's just a perfect commander. It's perfectly fun. It's powerful. It does something unique. Like it's just like a great commander. And then we got busted and or annoying. So like this is like your like Edgar Markov, or like it's like objectively like a powerful commander, but it's like kind of like a design oversight or something like that. Or maybe like or like a Tulane or Corvold, you know, like just the annoying dudes that are like objectively powerful, but you hate them because they're so like kind of like two good designs live in here. This sparks joy. This means that we just like them. They're cool. They're nice dudes. We like hanging out with them. They're not like the
Yeah.
best, but like they're totally. If I see it, I'm like, oh, nice. That's a cool one.
Yeah, hell
Meh
yeah.
is super forgettable. And Stinky is just bad.
Yeah, if it's stinky, this isn't a time when stinky is a good adjective. It can kind of flip flop depending on the situation. But
No,
today,
yeah.
stinky's bottom tier.
There's definitely some contextual stink, but today, Stinky is bad.
I would say, I
So
think,
yeah,
yeah, this is looking solid.
and
We should,
then so if you've never been to mtg.fandom.com/wiki slash whatever set name you want, they have these really nifty Did it pull up in the recording rank? Did it switch
Yeah,
to this tab? Dope.
yeah.
So they have a list of all the cycles for like every set, and also like how it was designed and set details and like the product details. So if you're like a nerd like me and you want to like see what were the draft uncommons for like some random set like when you weren't playing, you can just go look. They're all there. It's pretty sweet. So we're probably just gonna go in this order. So first up, we got a classic Boogeyman Commander, Kalia of the Vast. One, a red, a white, and a black. Flying, whenever she attacks an opponent, you may put an angel, a demon, or dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking that opponent. So she cheats mana value for the three big bad creature types of her colors: red dragons, white angels, and black demons. And so she's kind of like a tribal commander for all of those tribes, which is kind of interesting. And she, excuse me, a typal commander. And and she cheats mana cost, and just shoots big flying things at your opponent. And she's pretty scary. She was like one of the original boogeymen of the commander format. Just lots of people complain about her. Like, people just don't let me. People always kill my Kalia. It's like, well, yeah, because you're shooting like an Avacyn for free at people. Like, it's pretty scary.
Yeah, because it's turn 3. You ramped her out, and now you're going to drop a 7-drop demon that's going to make us sack something at every upkeep. So now we just can't keep anything on the board. Definitely, obviously, one of those cards you don't have to build that stinky. But it can get like pretty stacksy pretty fast.
Yeah. You just don't really have to do a lot with her. She just like you cast her, and then you give her haste because you're in red, or just can protect her for a turn, and then you just go. But typically, you got to give her haste. Like, you got to get lightning greaves on her or something.
Yeah, or just ramp it
So
out fast
what?
enough.
Yeah, what do you think about Kalia?
I don't know. I haven't really seen a Kalia deck in the wild. I've just seen them in videos, and obviously, like, I know about it.
Yeah, I
I
haven't
would
either, actually.
part of
That
me
shows
would
how new
maybe
we are. But
say, yeah, and I just also don't think I haven't seen it a lot, even at LGSs. Like when I've gone out and played in public, I haven't seen a lot of people play Kalia.
hmm
Um, but I don't know.
I think this sparks joy because I think the days of her being a problem are like so like she's no longer a problem at all. Like, there's just way better commanders that are like cheat stuff into play. Like, compare this to Joda. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh no, that yeah,
Like,
that's
this
fair.
is nothing compared to Joda. Like, and I don't know. I think it's fine. It's just fun. I don't know. It just cheats big things into play.
Yeah, part of me just doesn't like that it's like 4 mana and a 2/2. It feels like an effect that she should be on a bigger creature. Um, but
I
I
think
was gonna
that's
say,
better because then you can't also like she's not also a 6/6 that's gonna commander damage people. Like, she's a
that's
two
fair.
two. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could toss it in what our Sparks Joy column. Mine are still labeled S through D, but yeah, no, I think that works because it's still fun, and it's also like you don't have to build it to be super crazy. You could just put like goblins in it. Well, no, you couldn't put goblins in it, but you could put like baby dragons
Yeah.
in it. Like you could build it
Yeah.
however you want.
And it is flexible because it gives like a typo commander for like three different types, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. Yeah, you could really dig into any of those. It could just be like mono red dragons with like black and white removal and stuff, or like vice versa. Um, I'd have to give it a go. It seems like it could be fun.
Yeah.
Definitely not like the
Um.
scariest thing.
Not anymore now. It's
Yeah.
still good, but I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah. Well, what do we got up next then?
Next Next up, we got Riku of Two Reflections. So Riku is a teamer commander. See if it loads. Okay. So he's two, a green, a blue, and a red. So he's 5 mana teamer for a 2/2 again. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may pay a blue and a red. If you do copy that spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, you could pay a blue and a green, create a token that's a copy of that creature.
So it's just like kind of a
Um,
copy the deck.
yeah. Yeah, it's just copy spells the commander.
I think it's pretty fun. I
Um,
feel like copying spells for is obviously not like none of it's like the best rate in the world, but like I could definitely see it being a lot of fun. Especially just paying Simic to
yeah.
make a token copy of any creature that you play seems pretty fun.
Yeah. He's just so mana intensive though, because I feel like the stuff you would want to be copying is like pretty big stuff. And then so let's say you're paying 5 mana for this dude, and the next turn you're gonna pay 4 mana for something, and then an extra two to copy it. So I don't know. And then that doesn't leave you any mana to like hold up interaction, and it's just I don't know. It's just so mana intensive. But you're in teamer, so you can definitely ramp hard.
Yeah.
But
And that's like it might be mana intensive, but it's still doing something kind of fun. You know, it's like everything if you
mhm.
want to play a copy deck, this seems kind of like the route for all the colors. Um
Yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely the copy deck for sure. Which is a cool. It definitely is cool and interesting, and I feel like it fits those colors well.
Yeah. Um I don't know. I might put it in Sparks Joy because it could be fun to do. It's not like a bad design. It's just like fatter cost.
Yeah,
Because I think that could be a ton of fun. Um,
yeah, it definitely is
it's
fun.
just like,
I'm a little skeptical of it, but I think as a card, you're right. It is fun. There's not definitely nothing wrong with it.
yeah, yeah. It's
It's
just
just
hefty,
slow. Yeah,
which is fine. Our
could be
game the
cool.
other night went 12 turns at least, so like
Yeah.
you could go kind of ham with 12 turns of mana. Um, I think the next
We
one we
got a
got is
cool one.
Gave, right?
Yeah, Gave
Abzan.
grew of spores. Look at that guy. He's
Yeah, that
cool.
art
There's the
is like
sweet,
so good.
the sweet secret layer art. Look at that.
Yes.
Super crazy.
Yeah, that's
But
really
okay, so
good.
this guy is cool. He's two in an Abzan. He enters the battlefield with 5 counters on him, so he's a 5/5. And then you can do pay one and remove a counter to create a sapperling, and then you can pay one and sacrifice a creature to put a counter on target creature. So he's one of those cards. He's kind of like a Jan Jansen, where he makes something and then also makes something else by doing the other thing, or like like a trading post kind of thing, where like they all work together. The two abilities do like feed each other, um, which is cool.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
built-in engine and payoff a little bit.
yeah, and he's like goes infinite like so easy. Like
Yeah,
that's just like what this is. Just this card is an infinite engine, which is pretty nuts.
yeah, because if you could, it's just yeah, all you need is the colorless mana and then like the way to either put counters on stuff or make creatures to sacrifice.
Which
Um,
is easy
easy.
and
That's
absent.
yeah,
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 like
and
it's
it's in the
just
best
you.
colors for that.
Yeah, it's ham sandwich category. Like it just goes infinite with anything.
Yeah, and especially with Abzan, it's got just all the counter synergies from Selesnya, and again like best removal package.
Yeah, best
Yeah,
best removal.
I would toss. You know what? I'm gonna say goaded. I'm
I
gonna
think
say
he's goaded.
goaded.
He's super cool.
Yeah,
He's really sick. He's one of, especially as an absent commander, like no one does what he does, and
yeah,
he's very high power, which is fine. Like that's just sweet. Dope. Yeah, Gabe is awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
here's
easy.
here's a weird one. So people really like this guy. Like there's Zedru stands. So
Yeah,
Zedru the Great Hearted, he's a Minotaur monk. I don't get why this guy's a Minotaur,
yeah, he's
but
definitely a
whatever.
goat. He's
He's
absolutely
definitely
a
an
goat.
antelope.
Yeah,
But I do love that he's an antelope. That's awesome. The like his design is amazing.
yeah,
But at the beginning of your upkeep, you gain X life and you draw X cards, where X is the number of permanents you own that your opponents control. And you can pay Jeskai to have target opponent gain control of target permanent you control. So it's about giving your opponent stuff, which is super weird. Definitely like a design that's like, okay, this is a multiplayer format, a casual format. What's like a weird thing we can do? And it's giving your opponents stuff to use,
yeah.
which
Um,
is interesting.
yeah, it's very cool. Definitely like goofy and has gotten way better over time with like curses. I mean, I think there were still curses at
Yes,
this time,
he's
but like obviously
yes,
more things have come out since then, which help this. But it is funny to think that your end goal is to like give your deck away.
yeah, which is yeah. I don't know. I don't know about this one. It's just like it just seems like such a hassle, and that's just not how I would personally want to play the game. Which is, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, but I don't know. That's just not what I want to do. I like. I'd rather just like if I'm casting a spell, I want to use it. You know, like I don't want to make like a cool thing. Like I don't want to make like a big dragon and then say, okay, you can have this dragon, you just can't swing it at me. Like I don't want to be doing that personally.
Well, you
I don't
don't
know.
give them a big dragon. You give them the thing that deals them like 5 damage on their upkeep or something. You know what I mean? You give them the things that stop
Yeah,
them from doing stuff or deals damage to them.
and see
Um,
that's annoying. If I got stuck with some shit that I didn't want, I would hate that. So I don't want to do that to someone. And then I don't want to be the nice guy and give shit to my opponent either. I don't want to do any of that.
I think it'd be fun to like troll. Just give them a bunch of junk and then just be like, ha ha.
See, I'm anti-troll. I don't like being trolled. I don't want to troll anyone. I want to make a cool deck. And this does not facilitate that for
See,
me
that's where our
personally.
crossroads meet, though, because I want to make a
I know.
fun, cool deck, but I also want you to get upset that I gave you stuff. I
Yeah.
want to like be like, you
Uh
can have this mana crypt, and then when you die from the mana crypt, I'll be like, can you imagine that if I just started giving away lands too? Because this does say permanent. You can give away anything.
yeah. And just
So
draw cards and gain life, which is fine. But
yeah. I think it's like fun. You know what I mean? It's again, it's like it's goofy. It's a weird design.
I think it's meh personally. Well, I think it's stinky
You
is where
think
I
it's
would put him.
stinky? Okay, well,
I think
no,
he's stinky.
we got.
We
We'll.
can
I'll
split the
compromise and put him
difference.
in. Yeah, we'll put him in meh.
Yeah,
Um,
he just does like just the play pattern is just something I don't. I think it's a good design. I like the idea of it, but just in like practice, stinky. I don't
that's
identify with that at all.
that's fair. Also, not a commander you can play over spell table.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
No.
I tried to play. Some guy tried to play a curse deck on Spell Table, and I was like, "Dude, what are we doing?" And we were like, "What curse is on who?" And he was like, "I don't even know at this point." I was like, "Then why are we doing this?"
That's yeah. That's your you line them up so you know. That's
And he was
yeah.
like,
That's frustrating.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then another guy, I played a spell table game. He played a tox roll, and I was like, and a guy was like, I don't really have any dice. How should I keep track of this?" And the guy literally said, "That's not really my problem." I was like, "It is your problem. You played the card.
Yeah,
You
it's
brought
like,
this to the table."
or at least help solve the fucking issue. You know what I mean? Like that's not my problem. I'd just be like, just rip some paper up. each little
Yeah,
piece
no,
of
he literally
paper.
said that's not my problem. Like, what do you mean?
I
Like,
would be like, okay,
you are
now
the
you're
one
my
that
problem.
brought you brought the basketball to the game and it's deflated. And it's like, well, this is deflated. How can we
I
fix
can't
that? Oh,
bounce
that's
it.
not my problem. I just brought it. What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Don't play Tox Roll. That card sucks.
That yeah, yeah, that card does suck. There's few cards that I hate, but I hate Toxrill.
Yeah, he's just annoying.
But what do we got next? I think we've got a gooey boy next, right? We've got a
Yeah, this
gooey
dude
boy.
is sick. How do you spell that? Mimi?
Mimi
Mimeo.
Mimeo.
The mimeoplasm, which is
The
cool.
yeah. Legendary ooze.
Yeah. As he enters the battlefield, you may exile 2 creature cards from graveyards. If you do, it enters the battlefield as a copy of one of those cards with the number of additional +1 counters on it equal to the power of the other card. Um, so Sultai, Graveyard Commander, there's a lot of those. But he's kind of the first one.
Yeah.
And he's cool. He's like, look at him. He's got a T-Rex for an arm. Like, that's dope.
Yeah. I think this is one of the most like inventive designs for graveyard decks. Like in terms of the way that it's like a copy of one creature, but then its power is the other creature. So you kind of have to
Mm-hmm.
you're not like reanimating stuff. You know what I mean? You're kind of like fusing two cards together.
Yeah, this is like Mutate before Mutate existed.
Yeah, this is like Yu-Gi-Oh! Fusion Summon. Um I think it's
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
super fun design. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he goes infinite with some stuff. Like there's like a couple combinations where like you like just it enters with so many counters and then you can just like remove the counters. I don't know exactly. I forget exactly what it was. But there I played like some like really high power games at SCG Con and like all this guy he was playing Mimeoplasm and like literally all he did would be like okay buried alive and then he would just play Mimeoplasm and win. That was like literally all he did for like 4 games was like I
That's
cast buried alive.
crazy.
And I'm like, which is fine. It was fine for the power level. I was like, that's boring. Like
Yeah.
that
Oh,
play pattern. I couldn't play a deck like that. But
yeah,
whatever.
super linear.
Yeah,
Um,
but one time, one of the games I was playing my Oketra deck, and he like just loaded his graveyard with the combo pieces, and then I just played. Um, there's like some spirit you can sacrifice it to exile someone's graveyard, so I just like
yeah.
played it and then exiled all his combo pieces, and he just like slumped back in his chair. I was like, okay, it was like, why'd you do it like that, bro? Come on.
I think that yeah, that's like the thing in Muldrotha too. If I do it if I have combo pieces in the graveyard, that combo doesn't get pulled off. Like you guys always slam that shit.
You
Um,
have to,
yeah, but like you don't
but
have to do
I
it to
think he's cool.
me. You
I'm
know, you don't
sorry.
have to do
He's
it to
also got this
me.
cool gooey
That's
art.
yeah. Is that the wizard? Yes, Wizard of Barge. Um,
Yeah.
they make some amazing art. I've got a couple of their T-shirts, and yeah, they also did the Goblin Secret Lair that just got announced. Like as we're recording this, that just got announced a day or two ago. Um,
Yeah, the goblins like look this Muxus.
yeah, the Muxus is really good. I also like the Goblin Recruiter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, he did the Jason Mind Sculptor. Wow, he's done a lot.
yeah. I'm glad that they keep collaborating with them.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah. It's just such a
How much is
distinctive art
this?
style. It's like very it's like $8. The
Dope.
mimeoplasm one's like 3 though, which is sick.
Yeah, that's dope. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people bought it.
Yeah.
Where would you put our weird gooey dinosaur arm man?
I would say I'm saying goaded.
He's pretty sweet. I like
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. And also it's just a design that we haven't ever seen, you know, before or after. And it's cool because you could build it to be a super combo thing, or you could build it to fuse like your two favorite cards together and make like a weird monster. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
something that you can build and like kind of do a flavor thing if you really want to and stuff, which I think is fun as well.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah, I think that rounds out all the face commanders too, right?
Yeah, that was all 5 face commanders.
Very sick. Where are we at in the? So we've got two goaded, two that spark
And then,
joy, and one meh
yeah.
for the
Sorry,
face
Zedru.
commanders.
I disagree with you on like a fundamental level, but I like that you're an antelope.
That's fair. I respect
Next
it.
up, we got this weird one that seems kind of stinky. It's Teriel, Reckoner of Souls.
You sound like the man in the chair every time you type in the card names. It's like pap 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 pap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really funny. It's like a hacker
Um,
movie. So
I am the
Teriel,
man.
Reckoner of Souls, is 4 in Mardu, a legendary angel with flying and vigilance. They're a 4/7, so they got a big old booty. And you
Hmm.
can tap, choose a creature card at random from target opponent's graveyard, and put that card onto the battlefield under your control. Huh? Huh?
No, no, thanks, dude. I'm really
Nar.
not interested in that.
Nar. I don't want your carrion feeder. Thank you, though.
7 mana for that for a 4/7 flying vigilance. I mean, Kalia can shoot this into play for free. That's nice. But as its own commander, 7 mana
Yeah. It's
to steal
one
someone else's stuff.
at
Because if you're
random. You
playing
don't even
against,
get to pick what it is.
yeah, oh god.
So like you
Because
point
like,
to someone and they shuffle their graveyard of creatures and then you get something.
yeah, and like their creatures synergize with their deck. Why would I want them? What, like, how can I, unless I'm just sacrificing them for value? But at that point, why don't you just make a Mardu aristocrat deck? And how do you
Yeah.
get creatures into your opponent's graveyard? Are you just making them mill? Making your opponent mill without blue is hard.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
then it's like, yeah, it's not easy. You the thing is you'd probably with it being 7 mana, you probably wouldn't play this right away. You would load up on kill spells and honestly probably like what a hate bearer deck, where you're just like kind of eliminating everything everyone else has. And then
Yeah,
like
Born
turn
White
seven,
Primal.
yeah, you slam this down, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna hit whoever had the best graveyard. Um it's like it's fine, but just in terms of like what we were just saying, how Mimeoplasm is like a really cool take on a graveyard deck, where it's like fusing something together, you're getting like multiple benefits from cards, even though you're not getting each card in full. This is like super RNG, which is fun. Toss this in the 99 or whatever, but like if like this just wouldn't even feel great as like a payoff if I was playing the deck. Because one,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, I'm gonna swing with it because it has vigilance, but I'm not gonna swing with it to like end the game. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know,
Yeah,
because then it just ends up
no,
being a
no.
Voltron deck, which has nothing to do with the main part of it.
And then it's a 7 mana Voltron commander. What are we doing here? Like, I know
Yeah.
this is commander, but like, we're not commander that hard. Like, I'm not trying to do that.
Well, that's like you could play 5 to 6 mana and get one of the other dragons or something and start beating face, and you'd be faster than that.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Definitely not like bad by any means, but definitely not a card I'd want in my zone. I'd want like more value for my money.
Are we gonna do it? I'm thinking
I'm thinking
that's a that's a
that's a
stinky.
stinky.
Sorry, Teriel. You got
Clip.
cool art. You look sick. Wayne
Yeah, the
Reynolds
art.
popped up. That guy always says good art, but
Yeah, the art is very sick. It's just like it's just really mid in terms of like what you're getting for it. So yeah,
yeah.
stinky.
Sorry, dude. Next
Um,
up, we got a really, 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 really good one. It's
woo!
Animar Soul of Elements. It's a green, a blue, and a red for an elemental with protection from white and from black. I don't know if you know this, but white and black have the best single target removal spells, listener. So this thing is not getting got by your swords. It's not getting got by your infernal grasp. No, no. It's not
It's
getting
not
got by
getting
anything.
blocked by your demons. It's not getting blocked by your angels. It's not getting blocked by your white weenies.
Crazy.
Toast.
And then whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Animar.
Excuse
Soul
me?
Elements.
Put a counter
So
on
it just
it?
gets. And then creature spells you cast cost one less for each counter on Animar.
Oh, there it is.
So you play this, and then you play a Mana Dork, and now you just ramped because now you went up 1 mana, and then you also went up another mana for your creature spells.
Yeah. This deck is so hard. If you listen to the Josh episode, this is a deck that Josh has. He also has the original huge Animar, so he'll like slam
Yeah,
that
he's got
thing
the
down on the
oversized.
desk. Yeah. And this is crazy. It's one of those decks you kind of are like, okay, not going to touch it for a little bit. And by the time it gets to turn 5 or 6, they're playing 4 or 5 creatures a turn because they're paying 2 mana a piece for him. And then
Yeah.
Animar just keeps getting bigger. And then all of a sudden, that protection from white and black is scary because most everyone else is running white or black, and you can't block it. So you're just toast. It's insane. It is so good.
Yeah, it's also really good with Eldrazi because they're all colorless. So you just like slap down a Kozilek for like free.
That's crazy. And then if you're also
is
putting
sick.
extra counters on Animar too, you can just ramp that out even faster. Yeah, it's really sick. This is obviously, if anyone wasn't sure, this is that team or commander.
Yeah,
This is
he's
the
pretty
dude.
gnarly.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty great, pretty awesome, but I think he is in the busted tier.
I would definitely say busted. Yeah. Definitely not like super annoying, but like
Yeah, I don't think he's that
fucking
annoying,
moves.
but he is like crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Just the cost reductor on stuff gets really out of hand, and I think we've seen that on other cards that cost reduce things. I was trying to think, but it wasn't the Muriel Dragon card. Just makes token copies. It doesn't cost less. But
Yeah, but classic dude. That guy's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, and good arts all around. It's a fun card. I didn't realize
yeah, he
that
looks really
first
cool.
that first art that we looked at. It's got a deer on his head.
Yeah, it's really
I was,
amazing.
yeah, I thought that was like really really cool.
Yeah, it was
But
new art for Double Masters. I don't know why they made new art, but oh well.
because it's fun.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
great.
new art. But yeah, definitely busted. Definitely be wasted.
Next up, we got a super cool dude. I really want to build this deck. I might do that today, actually.
Is this Cardor?
Carador Ghost Chieftain. Abzan. He's an 8-mana Abzan commander. But, hold up. First
Hold
line
up.
of text.
Wait a
The
second.
spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. So as long as you're self-milling, this is never going to cost 8 mana. It's like almost always going to cost 3 mana. And then once during each of your turns, so no flash bullshit, only on your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard.
Nice.
I like it. He's cool. He's a centaur spirit, which is cool. And yeah, he doesn't do anything crazy. But he just gives you card advantage. You can just cast spells, creatures from your graveyard. And then he's just a classic, just Abzan graveyard deck, which is a really, really cool. And then white and black and green are amazing graveyard colors. So you get some crazy, you can do crazy combos in this deck. You can do like Revel Arc and Karmic Guide stuff, Eternal Witness, so you can just return, you mill like non-creature removal spells, you can get them back easy with a bunch of with creatures. You can do like whatever you want in this deck. It's really good. I like him a lot.
Yeah. He's super cool. I think it's Cool, it's really open ended as well. It's not like super boxed into one style of like graveyard deck. Um,
Yeah.
I'm hmm. What are you thinking?
Um, he's just kind of basic. Like he doesn't do anything like super like new. So I might put him in this sparks joy. Like he's great, but he's not doing anything like super crazy.
Hi, Lucy. Yeah, I was
Oh,
actually
can you
very
hear
much
her?
in the
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's funny. I was
She wants
actually
in
very
real
much
bad.
in the same boat. The Sparks Joyce would be perfect
Yeah.
because I think it's
He's
super
not like
fun. It's just not
Mimeoplasm
super
where he's like
crazy.
combining stuff or the Gave, like but he's cool. You know, he's great. I like him.
Yeah, yeah, definitely close to goaded.
Close. I think he's
Yeah,
close.
yeah.
Agave is just a little bit cooler.
If I could have gotten a keyword on there or something like that,
Yeah.
maybe
Flying
flying,
or Vidge.
vigilance. Um,
Next up, we got a weird one.
Ruhan.
Ruhan, Last of the Fomori. I don't know who the Fomori are. Oh, it's not Last. Wasn't he Last of the Fomori? Is there Last of the Fomori? He's just Ruhan of
Ruhan
the
of the
Fomori.
Fomori.
I swear there's a Last of the Fomori. Wow, I'm just adding words to stuff. I'm just literally creating fictional statements
Making
and
your own
acting like they're
lore.
true.
You should just
In
write the
my
last
mind,
Fomori.
Ruhan's the last one.
Hell yeah. So this is the last Fomori, Ruhan, uh, Jeskai, and one,
Yeah.
a legendary giant warrior, 7/7, which that's a crazy body for 4 mana. At the beginning of
Yeah.
combat on your turn, choose an opponent at random. Ruhan the Fomori attacks that player this combat if able. Um, that's like pretty fun.
Can I say that guy looks literally like a minotaur to me,
I'm gonna get in
and he's
close
a
real fast.
giant warrior. You're
He
what?
does look like a minotaur, and he's huge.
Yeah,
Uh,
and yeah, because I'm bringing that up because Zedru doesn't look like a minotaur at all, and he looks like a minotaur, but
yeah,
he's not a minotaur.
but we don't. What's a Fomori?
I don't know, but he's the last one. That's all I know.
Yeah, and I think that's why he is like that because he's the last of the Fomori. He's a Fomori, so we might have to do some deep diving into who and what a Fomori is.
Yeah,
Um,
or what they
but
are.
in terms of a card, I think this is pretty fun because you just suit them up with a bunch of stuff and start letting them go to town. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um,
Um, yeah. I think it's like, I think it's fine. Like, it's just like a Voltron commander that you don't have control over,
yeah,
which does make it more fun. But I personally like having more agency on who I can attack. It's like maybe I need to kill this dude, and I can't, and I have to attack this dude who hasn't done anything all game. And I'm like, I'm just gonna kill the actual. I can't kill the actual threat. I have to kill someone I could kill after I kill the threat.
yeah. But then if you load them up with like not greaves, but you would want to do like Swiftfoot boots and then give them fly and then like a curiosity effect and then just start loading them up with like all the glitters and stuff like that. It don't matter. They're not gonna kill you faster than you kill all of them because he's already at a 7 too. So you could really boost him up, and then you could also probably do damage doublers too. Um,
But I could do that and also choose who I attack.
yeah, but what's the fun in choosing your attack? I hate it. I get option paralysis. If this guy just starts going for me, and all I have to do is put the suit on him, just call me the tailor baby. I'm gonna be
Yeah, this
dressing them
is
up all
made
day.
for people. This is made for people who roll to decide who to attack. And if you do that, you're a weenie. Just choose who to attack. Just pick someone.
That's fair.
If someone
That's fair.
says, I'm just gonna roll, I say just attack me. I'll volunteer. I'd rather you do that than say, oh, I didn't choose to attack you, the dice did. You chose to roll the dice, bro. You are still picking an action. It's still your fault.
Yeah, you
You're just
still
being, you're just not taking like
agency.
credit. Agency, yeah.
Yeah, you're not
So
taking
this is
agency
for those
for your
people.
actions. Um, yeah, and I'll always choose who to attack. I'm not gonna sit there and not choose to attack someone most of the time because I choose to attack Tyler.
I know. That's why. That's why. Because I'm always the one getting attacked, and it's like,
You're
oh
like, I'll
well,
take it
whatever.
anyway, whatever.
I'd
Um,
rather earn it than have it be some random thing.
yeah, that's fair, and it's also dumb because it's like we're playing a game. The point of the game is
Hmm.
to like attack or win through another measure, and if you just don't know who to attack, then just pass. Just don't do it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, or
make
ask,
a
like,
decision.
say
Yeah,
who? Hey, who should I attack? Like,
figure out where the
I don't know.
problems lie.
Anything's better than choosing with a dice. So
Unless you're
yeah,
playing a
don't
chaos.
do that.
If you're playing a chaos
But
deck, do it all the time.
well, that's my second point. Don't play a chaos deck because they're dumb. They're a waste of everyone's time.
It's only a waste of time until Sandworm Convergence comes out.
But that's just a. You don't need to be in a chaos deck to play Sandworm. You can just play that card
No, I know.
and have
But it's more
agency
fun.
over it.
Sometimes people don't want agency. I've got too much control in my own life already. I have to pay taxes, both in this game and out of this game.
No way, dude.
I'm gonna say the last Fomori is Sparks Joy for me.
Really?
Yeah,
He's so meh for me. I could not give a shit about that guy. I know he's the last one, but I just don't care.
I'll say we can put him
But
in Meh if you want.
I mean, if he sparks joy for you, I don't want to take your joy away from you. So he can live there,
Thanks.
and I'll just get over it.
I appreciate it.
We got one more of the backup commanders. She is. This one's interesting. Damia, Sage of Stone. 7 mana, 4/4 with Death Touch. Gorgon Wizard, which is cool. Dope typing.
Yeah, that's a really sick type. Also Sultai.
Sultai, yeah. Skip your draw step. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have fewer than 7 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Which is cool. That's a pretty powerful effect. It's just saying you're always going to have a full grip of cards no matter what.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's kind of sick.
I'm kind of torn on it. Cuz this is just kind of generic AF. Like how do you build Damia? Like I feel like I really like commanders that tell you that lead you in a direction and like you build around them. And this you can't build around at all. Unless it's cards that care about you having 7 cards in your hand. But or like Sultai Death Touch Tribal, maybe that would be decent, and then it's just card draw. Sultai Gorgon theme. I don't know,
Yeah,
but some people really like generic commanders that just like here and then they just throw whatever they want inside. You know,
yeah.
like I don't
Well,
know.
I was gonna
This
say
just
you
does
got.
nothing for me.
I think it could be kind of cool because you're in all the colors that care about drawing cards. So the fact that you
Mhm.
draw cards equal to the difference. So you're always drawing cards, and then if you say you draw like 3 cards at the beginning of your upkeep, you could put like 3/1/1 counters on stuff. Um,
Mhm.
there's like other things that you could do to it to make it pay off for all of that. And then the other thing is like if you keep emptying your hand out, then you could just draw 7, and whatever your payoffs are for drawing cards is just higher. Um, it might be like kind of simple, but it seems kind of more like just draw card typal, like a draw card theme where like everything that you play does something when you draw cards. So you could like deal direct damage when you draw cards.
Hmm.
Um, and you could even add like a little bit of discard stuff to it with reanimate. So that way, if you wanted to run like a waste not, you could also get like extra mana because you're always going to draw 7 cards. So it doesn't matter if something's in your hand or not. Um, Definitely generic though. Like obviously there's not like a clear build path and you could just easily build like Sultai good stuff combo and
Yeah,
probably
it's
be
definitely
good.
a solid, just good stuff commander.
Yeah.
Um, which my personal deck building style, I'm like anti good stuff. Like I just don't build decks that way. Like I much prefer synergy and doing something with my commander.
Yeah.
I'm working on Sauron the Dark Lord right now as just generic good stuff, and it's so hard. It's just like what does this deck even do then besides just like tutor for Thassa's Oracle, which is like good in that context. Like what does
Yeah.
this do besides like be like a Protean Hulk pile.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You
But
could build it as a Protean Hulk pile, but you could also go other directions too. Like you were saying,
you can
Death
really just
Touch
do whatever
Tribal.
you want, I guess. If you're like, this is for people bigger brain than me, is the problem. It's
Well,
like
like
if
if you
you can
go,
really build a deck and do some weird stuff, this is probably really good.
yeah,
But for me, I'm not inspired to do anything with this.
that's fair. I think I feel like it could have a lot of possibilities because you could also do Death Touch typal and then add Finn the Fane Bear and Infect stuff. And then because of the mana cost for a lot of that stuff is so low, you could blow
Hmm.
through it. It could go crazy. Actually, this could be like a
Yeah, Death
fairly
Touch
effective Death Touch Infect
is
deck.
interesting.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, because all of those like never cost more than like 3 mana. Um, Yeah, but definitely not like flashy. It's like cool, but it's not like insane out of the gate. You know what I mean?
yeah. I- Cool design for sure.
Yeah.
Skip your draw step is like really like intense wording.
I
It's like,
like, I
oh,
saw that and I was like, oh, this better be good. And then I was like, wait, always a full grip on your
it is
upkeep?
good. It
That's
is good.
great. That's awesome.
It is good.
And it's not, and it also doesn't stop you from drawing cards throughout the rest of your turn. If it was like skip your
Yeah,
draw
it's
step,
just
you can't draw cards, then it would be like way
yeah,
more doo doo. But you just don't draw 1 card a turn. You always have 7,
yeah.
and you just
So
go through it. So,
I don't know. Where would you put Damia?
well, I got Ruhan. So what do you feel?
I think we should put her in Sparks Joy. Honestly, it's a cool enough thing, and it's just open enough that I feel like the possibilities are endless. Which that's a good design. Like it's not too railroaded. It's not too, but it's not useless. It's definitely like a good effect.
Yeah,
So it's just kind of open ended. So
yeah.
I think
It's
it's
just
I
there's a
think
lot of
it
stuff.
sparks joy
Yeah.
for sure. Next up does not spark joy. So we got 5 enemy colored commanders. So just the two color pairs.
Yeah.
We got the first one is really really bad. I think this is where like the Boros sucks allegations come from. Because this art is so cool. Um Artist sucks though, unfortunately, but art is good. Bassandra Battle
Uh,
Seraph. Um,
no turfs
three in a
here.
Boros. Yeah, no turfs allowed in this house. Um, 4/4 flyer. Players can't cast spells during combat, and target creature attacks this turn if able.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing.
It's like I could kind of see some of it, but at the same time, this is like make your opponent's stuff attack, and then they can't really do anything about it during combat. But
Hmm.
like that's I don't know. My opponents can't cast spells during combat is like already kind of how they play. So I don't really need help not doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's I think it's a decent 99 card. Like if you're in some sort of angel deck or just like a Boros aggro deck, this is like a decent topper, like curve topper, because it's a 4/4 flyer, which is decent, and then it stops. You can't interact on during combat, which is powerful. Just like I'm gonna do, but you can't cast spells during
Yeah.
combat
That's
either.
the other thing
But
is you can't do it either.
as
Um,
players,
I think if you maybe wanted to run this as like a goad deck, because one red target creature attacks this turn available is like kind of powerful. That's like not a lot of mana to get something big to swing. Um, that could be kind of cool, but
nah,
it's
I'd
not
rather
well
do other
because
things.
yeah. Well, and the other thing is it's like it's not necessarily enough because then if you don't have anything else, they just swing at you. It doesn't like stop people from attacking you. It just makes stuff attack. Um, I'd say meh. What do you
I
think?
put her in. I'm feeling the stink.
Oh, you feel stinky?
Yeah, it does
Stinky.
nothing for me.
Uh-uh. That's even more fair. I respect it.
Next up is a classic, bona fide classic. Edric, Spymaster of Trest, 1 and Simic. Whenever a creature deals combat to one of your opponents, its controller may draw a card.
Good.
Yeah, it's actually like a classic deck. It's been around forever. There's actually some like CDH builds of it. It's I'm pretty sure it's fallen out of favor, but I think it's like it had a deck in the database for like a long time.
I'll say I've seen a
Because it
couple
just
Edric decks out there just running around.
and it just draws a million cards for you and encourages your opponents to not um attack you because they want to draw cards, you know.
Yeah.
So you just play a bunch of unblockable dudes and you draw a million cards and then you Greater Hoof or something, you know. So you have a bunch of small dudes, then you make them all huge.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, very sick. And I also don't think it's like busted or anything because it's only combat damage, you know? If it was
Yeah.
like whenever it deals damage and you could also just paint, that might be a little bit crazy, but it's
Hmm.
just a 2/2 that something's got to connect to draw cards. And I think
Yeah,
I think that's just like classic design.
it's really elegant design too. So one line of rules text, you know.
Yeah.
Whenever a creature deals combat damage to your opponent, its controller can draw a card, and that's it. That's the whole thing.
It's
Um,
clean
so
cut.
simple, sweet, clean, nice. He might be he might be.
I was thinking it. I was thinking it.
I
Oh, you were thinking
I
I was cause yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
oh, were you thinking busted?
No, I was thinking goaded.
No, he's just kind of a dude, you know?
He's
And
literally
like
just a dude.
yeah. And
He
like
dies to a shock.
okay, wait, there is something we forgot to talk about. It is like an extra turns deck because it just draws so many cards, but oh well.
Hey, you don't
It's
put in
fine.
extra turn spells in there, it's not an extra turn deck. So
Yeah, but that's just what most people do. But oh well. I still think it's such a cool effect.
I think yeah, and inherently it's not like crazy enough by itself to be busted. Animar's literally like, oh yeah, you can barf your deck onto the field for 5 mana, thanks. And then
And
after
you
you do
can't
that, it
kill
gets
me.
bigger. Yeah, you can't fucking kill it.
Yeah. But
Yeah, no,
Edric's
it,
cool.
it's cool. Yeah. Oh, pop my back.
Nin the Pain Artist, 2 and or just is it blue and a red for a 1/1 wizard, a Vidalcan wizard. I don't know what that means, but that's what they are. You pay X, a blue and a red, and tap them to deal X damage to target creature. That creature's controller draws X cards.
I have this in all of Precon because it came with it, which is so
Yeah.
bad in that deck because you want to make copies of all your wizards, and this is legendary, so you can't even
Yeah.
do that. Um, but the other thing is like, do you want to kill something of yours and draw like two or three cards, or because you don't want to use this on
I
your enemy's stuff, and I wouldn't want
yeah,
to put
because you're
one
gonna
mana
make
into
them draw
this.
cards. And it's
Yeah,
so inefficient to kill anything, you know? You're gonna pay 5 minutes, 5 mana, kill a 3/3, and they're
gonna draw
that
three
3/3's
cards.
controller draws
Like,
three cards. I don't want to
yeah.
do that.
Well, and then even if you're using it on your own stuff, how much are you going to be able to put into it without just killing your own stuff? Because
Well,
if
it's good
it's
with indestructible stuff. So like a stuffy
that's fair.
doll. It's real good with the stuffy doll. It's real good with the
Oh,
brass taunter.
that's true. Yeah.
Um, it's real good with something with like a dark steel plate on it. So you're just dealing a bunch of damage, and then it's just like a X +2 draw X cards, which that's a good rate. That is a really good rate. But um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know
I
about this one.
I think it's like it's okay, but I think it's like a little bit stinky because you're paying so much mana and also tapping it. So it's like you can really only do it once unless you're untap. You know, you're also doing untap
Yeah,
shenanigans. Which then at that point you've got like two sub themes. You've got X damage draw, something to pay off with that damage, dealing it to your own stuff, a way to make that stuff indestructible, and then also everything else that you're doing, and then lands. You know what I mean? Like it's just a little too busy.
yeah, it's busy. And for what? To draw cards?
Yeah.
Like I just would rather do something else to draw cards, especially in Is It?
I'd rather just play Sultai and have a full grip. You know,
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you think meh or stink?
I would say meh because I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know if it's
I
like
can live with meh.
awful, but like it's not special.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think we're down to the last two, aren't we?
Yes. Okay, we did not go in order, so that's fine. We'll do this dude,
We
Vish
hecked
Call,
up. We hecked up. Vishkol.
Blood Arbiter.
That art is dope.
It is. He's just a dude on a chair. He's like a Boro.
A Boro.
Oh wait, not a Boro. What? A Loro? That guy.
Oh yes, another dude in a chair.
Yeah, but
I also
Vish
keep
Call,
thinking
Blood
that that
Arbiter.
guy is related to Oko because they look the same. Olo and
What?
Oko.
Aloro and Oko?
A little bit. They're both got the whitish bodies, you know? They're like kind
And the
of
abs, and they got the face
yeah.
paint. Okay, I can see it. I can see it. I can see
Okay,
it.
I thought I was crazy for a second.
Nope. This guy has the same thing.
Yeah.
Abs and face paint.
Abs and face paint, baby.
Okay, so he's 7 mana, dude, for a flying lifelinker. That's a 5/5. That's compelling. And he's a vampire. He's got big bat wings. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. But 7 mana. Sacrifice a
Seven.
creature, put X +1/+1 counters on Vishkal, whereas that sacrifice creature's power. Okay, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then remove all +1/+1 counters from him to give him to give target creature -1/-1 until end of turn for each +1 counter removed this way.
Oh, I thought I originally read that as all creatures get -1/-1 till end of turn,
Yeah,
and I
target
thought that was a
creature, and
lot more
then
exciting.
yeah, and so you can't like remove some counters. You have to just remove all of them
Oh,
all
that's
at
true
once.
too. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's not as
Yeah,
good. I guess you just
but
probably don't use that second clause as much.
or you just got to be smarter about it. So like you you sacrifice the 3/3, you got 3 counters on it, and then you kill the 3/3. And then you sacrifice another creature, you sacrifice a 2/2, and then you remove the 2 counters and kill an X2. So you just gotta be a little smarter about it, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But 7 mana for this, like it's pretty, like it is powerful. Like sacrifice a creature, like you could just make a board of 1/1s and sacrifice all the 1/1s and make it a 21/21 and then kill someone and then gain
Yeah.
21 life.
Yeah.
So like that is inherently powerful, but 7 mana out of the zone in Orzov, that's just too much, man. We're not ramping that hard in Orzov. Like we need something low to the ground.
Yeah. Kali will let you cheat this out though. No, it doesn't. I'm so dumb. I thought it was an angel.
No, it's a
Yeah.
vamp.
I'm just gonna quit. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I think it's cool because it's a free sack outlet, but seven
It
mana
is.
is a fuck ton.
Yeah, just yeah. I
Like
think
if,
it's almost cool,
I would
but
say
I
yeah, it's a
think
meh, like a little. Meh.
I think they should have made it cheaper with with less power, and then just remove the counters and just make it like this, like 3 mana or four, like make it a 3 mana 1/1 sack a creature, put counters on it. That's a cool card.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like a 4 mana 3/3 or 4 mana, something in that range.
Yeah, just less mana, less initial power, but same sacrifice ability. That seems more compelling because then you have to work to get the commander damage more.
Yeah,
But still, it's more feasible in the early games. Because if this gets
yeah.
killed one time, dude, one time,
Six,
you're
seven,
so
eight, nine.
screwed.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah.
Is he a stink or is he a meh?
Oh, I'm thinking.
I think he
I'm
might be a
gonna.
stink.
I was gonna say maybe meh because it does have flying and lifelink.
Flying lifelink, yeah.
Yeah, it's
He's
not
that,
like
yeah, he's functional. He's functional. This is definitely a deck you can play, for sure.
yeah. I think it's definitely playable. It's not the worst thing in the world, and it's also doing something at least. You know, you have some kind of agency over what's going on in terms of like your damage and what you're targeting.
Yeah.
Where I feel like the other Mardu commander just didn't give us like any choices.
Yeah, not really about that.
Yeah. I only like
Well,
the Rohan just because that's like the point. He's a big dude that hits things.
yes, yeah. Well, he was like 4 mana, right?
Yeah. 4 mana
Yeah.
7/7 that attacks every turn randomly. Like
That's, yeah, way better than a 7 mana 5/5.
five.
But oh
That
well.
yeah.
Last up, we got one of the coolest cards of all time, I think. This dude is so sick.
Yeah, that's some awesome art.
And his ability is so cool. So he's okay, Skullbriar, the Walking Grave, Zombie Elemental, green and a black. So a 2 mana 1/1 with haste. And when he deals combat damage to a player, put a +1 counter on it. But here's the sickest thing.
That's
Counters
crazy.
remain on Skullbriar as it moves to any zone other than a player's hand or library. Because literally you can't keep counters on it when it's in your hand.
Yeah.
But that is so cool.
Yeah, that's really fucking awesome. That's like so much fun.
And it just gets bigger and bigger, and it's got haste, so you can like definitely there's turn two this, or turn one with like fast mana, but easy turn two, play this, and then immediately smack someone because a solid chance on turn two someone's not gonna have a creature, like you're playing your signets on turn two, you know.
Yeah.
So immediately going to start getting counters on it right away. And then when it comes back, it still has all those counters on it. And then you just keep swinging and smacking. And then Ikoria souped this dude up so hard because of keyword counters.
Yeah, dude. Oh
So
my
he
god.
so he keeps all the
Shit,
keyword
that's
counters on
so
it.
fucking sick. Yeah. And
So you
oh,
can give
and
him
with New Capenna,
Vidge, you can give him indestructible,
give him a shield counter too.
shield counter.
Damn, that's so cool. I've never seen a card that did something like that before. That is so much fun.
Yeah, he's so sick.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any combos with him. He's just this like crazy thing that
Just
like
an eternal graveyard.
yeah,
That's so
super
sick.
cool. I think he's goated.
Yeah, I would agree.
No one else does what he does.
Yeah. The walking grave.
Oh yeah. Zombie elementals sick. Cool
Yeah.
typing.
Well, is this it? Is this our list?
That was it. That's the list.
Woo!
But thanks for watching, viewers at home. Let us know what you think in the comments. This is going to be on YouTube, and then I think we can also upload this to Spotify
Yeah.
as well. So it'll be everywhere.
Should we
so,
do a quick final rundown of what ended up in what category?
Yes, absolutely. So at the top we got Gave, Guru of Spores, the Mimeoplasm, Edric, Spymaster of Trest, and Skullbriar, the Walking Grave are all goated. Some of the best commanders of all time. Busted and or annoying. So just a busted commander. Maybe a little bit of a mistake. A little bit.
It's a little bit.
Animar, Soul of the Elements. Super sick card. Super sick. This
Just a
sparks
little
joy.
bonkers.
Cards. Yeah, a little bonkers.
Yeah. But cards that spark joy.
Cards we like, cards we think are interesting. They do something compelling. Wouldn't mind seeing them across the table. We got Kalia of the Vast, Riku of the Two Reflections, Carador, Ghost Chieftain, Ruhan, the Last of the Fomori, and Damia. Damia, Sage of Wonder, or whatever.
Or whatever.
What is it? Damia, Sage of Stone, because she turns people into stone.
Yeah,
That's
because
cool.
she's a. Yeah.
That's cool, 'cause she's a Gorgon. In the
That's
Meh
what it
category,
is.
we got Zedru, the Great-Hearted. I love that you're an antelope, and that's it. Nin,
Yeah.
the Pain Artist. Vampy Boy. Vishkal, Blood Arbiter are all meh.
I was
Not
going to
big
just
fans
leave it
of
with
them.
Vampy Boy.
And then Teriel, the Mardu, reanimate your opponent's stuff. I don't want to be doing that. Or meh. And or Stink. And
And then
Bassandra Battle Seraph is stinky.
Stinky as well. Two Stinkies tonight, folks.
2 stinkies, 4 goated, 1 busted, and a bunch of like other ones that are like great or meh.
Yeah, all solid cards.
Yeah, this is the definitive list, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't really know.
I
how
don't
you
even
can
know if there's
disagree with
lists
any
like
of
this. Yeah, I think we're the first ones to do it. So this is the de facto
Technically not.
list.
There's head of the commander is Melissa Del Toro. I forget how you say
Oh,
her
yeah,
name.
yeah.
And Gavin did a similar thing. They went through the commander decks and just talked about them.
Do they talk about
you
them
should
or
watch
say
that,
who's
too.
goaded?
They do not talk about who's goaded. They just talk about
This
the
is the de
decks
facto
themselves.
list. This is the only
Okay, fair
list that
enough,
talks
yeah.
about who's goaded.
Sorry,
So-
Gavin.
We ride in tandem.
Yeah,
So watch their video as well.
it is
But
good.
yeah, we'll probably if people like this, we'll probably start doing it some more. I think it's pretty fun. So
Yeah, I mean, we got a bunch more precons to do, so there'll be more of these in the future. We try and alternate the stuff we talk about, so maybe in a month or two we'll
come back
do another
to it.
tier list video. Yeah.
Yeah,
And let us know what other tier lists you want to see. Shoot us a DM on Twitter at Command Paradise or on the comment of this video. Like and subscribe. Hit in the doobly doo. There's links and stuff you can check out.
Hit the
But yeah,
bell.
thanks
Sticking
for watching.
around. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time in paradise. Bye bye.